This is college football at its absolute best.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, July 6th. Dude, I just got shout out to our boy Thomas Edwards. I don't know when he dropped this 7 hours ago. I just watched it for the first time. He just dropped a new song, maybe not the full song. I just watched the Instagram reel called Running Through That T. Banger.
Electric.
Absolute heater. I don't want to share it on the show without his permission. I think we got to get that going. What's up, Dylan? Welcome to the pod. Shout out to Thomas Edwards. Dylan, tweet this, tag him. Shout out to Thomas Edwards. I just watched that on Instagram for the first time, and it was I got chills. It was a heater.
Love it.
I need to watch it. You need to go watch it. Maybe during our Jared Dickey interview, you can go get a watch, and we can get your reaction, because I just watched that during the intro, and oh, man.
It took you off your game a little bit.
Dude can sing. I just want to talk. I feel like I needed to talk about that because it was that good. Go after this. Go do that. Go. Okay. Everyone go do that.
Yeah.
We do have a great show though. We do have Jared Dickey on VFL. He is actually going to get some big news here this weekend, so we're super excited for him. Talk a little bit about that. I wish everybody could see my dog, and I literally just got underneath the covers. That was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. He just got donut mode inside the covers.
Oh,
It's a good week though. I know we don't have much going on, but we figure that content out for you. Don't worry. We do appreciate Jared Dickey coming on, making our job a little bit easier. It's summertime. There is some portal news, thankfully, as well. Shout out to Tony V for keeping the content coming. Yeah. We're excited. We're gonna get all that for you. Full disclosure, I'm on the road and I'm not normal show ready. So give me just a second and I'm going to tell you guys about our good friends.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I just want to say I never thought that we'd be talking about baseball after the season more than we would any other sport.
Yeah, I mean, with so much happening for sure. And then shout out to all the guys that come on. Obviously, Kiv and Ricky that came on Sunday, and then you got Jared Dickey on. And that's not the last of it, boys. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got plenty more. 500th episode is coming up too, so we're gonna have a whole freaking list. I mean, it's gonna be a better than Bonnaroo lineup.
I think if we see if we can get the whole dugout in the hot tub, I think is what we need to do.
That'd be hilarious.
I am going to tell you guys about our good friends before we get the rest of this show going. Guys, shout out to Underdog Collectibles. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectibles store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by one of the shopping centers in the Western Avenue range. Again, I'm on the road. I don't have the address in front of me. Probably might be next to a Domino's. I don't know. Could be. They're open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows, 3 nights a week. Guys, remember to always bet on the Underdog. I've just been, completely thrown off my game. A guy just came by my window and my window's open and just kind of looked at me while I was doing that ad read.
It's 4452 Western Avenue.
Perfect.
By Club
like I said,
4 over there. Yeah.
By Club 4 could be next to a Domino's. We don't know for sure. We'll investigate and let you guys know.
Yeah.
I am still on the road. I do want to share that. So I've met a few people from Tennessee, or some people who've asked me oh, you're from Tennessee, because I'm always wearing something Tennessee. Today, from a 12, 13-year-old kid, I got my first just go Vols.
I love that.
On the entire trip, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, first just go Vols, nothing else. And then his dad.
Dude,
I'm
you
assuming
need to start
his
taking
dad,
pictures because that's hilarious. If you would take a picture with everybody that says go Vols to you.
Well, it's only been one, unfortunately, so far.
Well,
so that's
yeah,
sad. And it was also a kid. Hey, kid, come snap a picture with me.
Yeah, maybe not.
But shout out to that kid. And his dad didn't give me a go Vols. I'm assuming it was his dad. I ran into him later, but he was from Franklin, Tennessee. So shout out to that dad. I know he didn't say it himself, but someone or he has raised that kid right. So
100%.
credit.
Yeah,
credit. Yeah, that's my trip breakdown for you.
I love it.
Still on the road.
Yeah,
sort of. I guess I'm not technically on the road right now, but I'm on the
You're
road.
not home.
I'm not home.
You're not home.
That's true.
Yeah. Man, I can't get over that Jared Dickey was an Alabama fan.
That I knew. I meant to say that was gonna hurt the stock with you a little bit.
Yeah, that's
we forgive people for their faults, though. He has come to the right side.
I mean, converting, that's, people love doing that.
100%.
I mean, Zane Denton, Henry Toto went the other way, so
we saw what that did.
Yeah, exactly. Doug just and ran. So yeah, it's he converted, and that's all that matters.
For sure. We right side of history.
Yeah. And we got some more guys converting, maybe not from Alabama, maybe not, it's just not a full conversion, but Tennessee did land some guys in the portal, and man, what a freaking portal class. I mean, we're going to be staying in Omaha for a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of felt that way before this, but yeah. For sure.
So Tennessee landed Clemson transfer infielder Billy Amick. Billy Amick, when they played Tennessee in that 14-inning game, went 1 for 3. He hit .413 as a sophomore, All-American, 13 home runs, 63 RBIs. Landed him over Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, everybody. I mean, that was a big name in the portal that Tennessee went out and got. And they had one of the first visits. He visited Florida, visited North Carolina, and I think South Carolina after he visited Tennessee. So for him to kind of go through that, I mean, I think it shows you exactly how Tennessee can knock it out of the park. And, we haven't even built that freaking stadium yet.
And that's a lot of these portal guys aren't even going to see that come to fruition either.
Yeah.
I guess maybe steps of it, but not the full thing for sure, which, I mean, there's not many guys. I mean, in baseball, thankfully, you have like freshmen and sophomores commit, but right. A lot of even the people committing aren't going to see that come to fruition.
And he can play third, play first, DH. I think he can catch a little bit too. So, you can put him, in a lot of places. And I think right now it's, I know we got the question about like give your projected lineup, and I don't care to do that. But I think the kind of plan right now is like, hey, let's get as many bats and athletes on this roster, and then let's figure it out from there. Yeah. And I think it has to piece together. Like you can't have, a glaring hole. You have to find your best 9, and Billy Amick hitting .413, that bat's going to play. Right. So it's wherever they see fit to put him in there, and it's going to be good. And I think landing an infielder, if you lose Ryan Galaney to the draft, the Wofford transfer that they got last week, I think this is a good kind of, hey, it's okay.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll kind of see, where he ends up. But, man, kind of beating them the way that we did, ending their season and then taking their best bat in that lineup, I think it says a lot about where this program is.
For sure. I think Clemson probably just took another offensive timeout.
Yeah. They lost another Orange Bowl.
Yeah, it's a tough. Clemson got the better of Tennessee for the last 10 years or so. So this feels good. The last couple months feels real good.
It feels right.
It does, honestly.
Come full circle, yeah. I've enjoyed the last couple months of just dunking on Clemson.
Yeah, hopefully it continues. Obviously where Clemson's at, not only program-wise in football, but also in the ACC. I would like to see more of them because it probably means you're playing in good bowl games and or maybe the college football playoff. So hopefully getting the better of them continues.
Yeah, and Billy Amick hitting 13 home runs, that's not an easy field to be hitting that many home runs. So, I mean, he's going to love it. And Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah, no kidding.
And another in a right-handed bat as well. You know, something Tennessee needed to add some right-handed bats to that lineup. And again,
I don't know what Tony V and Rick Barnes see in the left-handers. I'm like, or not seeing them, but love about them. But guys, maybe just like take a step back because you're too like they have to have 50% of the left-handed population in their respective sports.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was listening to Part of My Take, and they're like, "How many left-handed clubs can you do they have to rent?" And they're like, "They had one pair." I mean, it's like it's a rare to have left-handed when we had so many left-handed bats last season.
I think I know one left-handed person.
Really?
No, well, now in my adult life that I could easily point to and say they're left-handed.
Brody Rollins?
Two. Okay.
Who is your other one?
The one I thought of because you mentioned golf was Cody Baker.
Oh, okay.
That was
I think Cody
the
Holmes
first one I thought
too,
of.
isn't he?
Possibly. See, that's what I'm saying in my adult life because I don't play sports with that many people anymore.
Yeah.
You played sports, you knew more.
Right.
Still small population, but knew more.
It's hard to tell if somebody's right or left-handed when they're typing on a computer.
Yeah, I'm not looking to see when they write their name or sign their signature what hand. I'm not dialed into that.
What hand do you wipe with, buddy?
I hope it's the opposite of, you got to come out and shake my hand with your right. I hope you're not just get in there.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we have a bidet.
You have a bidet. Dude, you're freaking rich.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not rich until I get hot water in that thing. And I'm going to do that eventually. It's probably going to be tacky, but I'm going to have hot water in that bidet.
You got to do it.
For sure.
But Tennessee landed another one as well. They weren't done. Added catcher from Missouri, transfer Dalton Bargo, who his freshman season batted .279 with 5 homers, 23 RBIs. I think it was 4 for 10 against Tennessee. Had a double, a home run off Chase Burns. Poetic. And, I think he had a couple walks in there as well. So I had a really good series against Tennessee. And, again, just kind of adding depth to the catcher position. You kind of mentioned it to Jared Dickey. I don't think that this staff is going to get in a position again where they don't have a great option at catcher.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's just going to be nice to not have – and not that maybe there might not – I'm not saying there won't be someone on the roster that maybe – that isn't their traditional position that doesn't go through that just because it's probably one of those things you probably can't ever have enough of people that are experienced there, but they're never going to be – they never want to seriously consider that person as their starter.
Right. Yeah, and he's a guy that can play first, can DH, play third, so he can play some positions too. And, again, I think it's just figuring out who your best 9 is, and see what happens there. And, he's got a couple years left before he's draft eligible, so he can come in. And I think he mentioned I don't remember who it was, or I'd give him credit, but I think it was Ben McKee or Mike Wilson. It was just like, I can't see myself developing any better than at Tennessee. So I think that says a lot about, again, this program, the staff, and kind of where they're at right now with developing kids. I mean, you have guys like Jared Dickey who's going to, hear his name called, that, last year had some of an impact. Would have had more if he didn't deal with injuries, but that 2021 season just, he wasn't a factor. He didn't have to factor in. He kind of waited his turn. Trey Lipscomb the same way. Jarrell Ortega the same way. Hunter Inslee's been here for a while, and, he finally gets his opportunity. Christian Scott, finds his footing. I mean, his last possible second of eligibility finds his footing as a mainstay in that outfield. So you have guys that are able to develop and turn into really good players. And, I think Dalton Bargo is, a guy that kind of saw that and wanted to make the decision to come to Tennessee. Also, I think getting Missouri guys out of the portal is going to be pretty easy for Tony Vitello.
Maybe a little reverse home cooking, like he's going against the home team.
Yeah, got to.
I think that's big, though, mentioning like guys are developing without – obviously they develop in the year they play, but it's not like they are missing time when they're not playing, to say. So it's like that. I mean, I think that's a good selling point. Like, yeah, maybe you don't play year one when you get here, but that's not to say you're not going to get better and you're not going to be prepared when you do play. That's huge.
Yeah, and when you're like you want to be able to be drafted as high as possible. So it's that your junior year, that's your money year. If you're going to the MLB draft, that's the year where you have to produce. So if you develop in those first 2 years and then your junior year, you have a breakout year. Hey, that's all you need.
For sure.
Also, it's pretty awesome that Dalton Bargo is from Omaha, Nebraska, too. Got to throw that little tidbit in there.
There you go.
So
bring him home, John B.
Yeah.
Bring him home.
Yeah, just speaking it into fruition there. Also, the 4 position players at Tennessee has got committed in this transfer class. 47 home runs between the 4 of them.
Pretty good.
That'll play.
Pretty good. Get those boys at Lindsey Nelson's stat.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't talked about making the outfield longer, right? That hadn't been in the conversation of renovations, correct?
Right.
Just making sure.
Let's keep the.
It does look like they moved the home field bullpen. Is it going to be on the right field line now?
I don't know. I really studied the. I'm just excited how nice it's going to be. I haven't really studied of where everything is.
Okay.
Just where my seat's at is all I really care about.
There you go. I kind of like it right there in right field. I like them getting to see those left-handed bombs over their head, or sometimes.
Yeah, I like to see Richard Jackson maybe ducking a little bit when he's out there coaching.
Absolutely.
But that's kind of all I got for the transfers. I mean, really solid class. I think there's one position or maybe 2 positions that's kind of, what are you going to do? I think starting pitching is one that, I'm sure they have plenty of arms. But I'd like to see, maybe a Luke Holman from Alabama. That'd be a big get. And then what do they do at shortstop?
Yeah.
I think you got some corner infielders. You got some corner outfielders. You got some guys that are playing infield currently that could probably play a little bit of outfield. But I don't think you have, a great option at shortstop. And I just don't see Christian Moore playing there. I think he's either second base or a corner outfielder. Maybe Jake Kendrow, if he's able to take a big step, from his freshman to sophomore year. Austin Jaslove did, pretty good when he was filling in for Maui. So, maybe that's, a portal get of some sort. But, yeah, I think that's one kind of position that's kind of glaring a little bit right now.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And that's a little bit of concern because you want that guy to be there you want him to be a good glove.
Right. We did have the question. Let me get to that. Let me find it. Man, I had it and then I just freaking lost it.
We'll never forgive you.
I'll have to find it. But anyway, they asked to basically do a lineup. And I'll go defensive lineup. I'm not going to go batting order because that's,
No, I think you should. I think you should try it.
Appreciate it. It's Brandon at 2 Cold Kicks says, what's your starting lineup projections as of right now? I'll go Burkett first. I'll go Christian Moore at second. I'll go Peebles at catcher. Shortstop, I'm going to go Jake Kendrow. Third's kind of up in the air because I feel like I feel like Zane Denton or Billy Amick. Who, if Zane Denton goes to the MLB, it's Billy Amick. And then I feel like Ryan Galaney is probably just going to go pro. I don't know, just guys that are kind of on the verge. It just feels like that's probably what he's going to end up doing. Maybe not, but it's just, I mean, like,
well, now, like with everything you got in the transfer portal too, it kind of seems like maybe they have some more encouragement to go. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just keep looking back to guys like Cortland Lawson, who like could have came back, but they are getting drafted. Not next year isn't guaranteed, and
Right.
they usually just go. You usually don't see those guys back. So I just have if he's getting a pretty good draft stock and he hears his name called at a certain point, I feel like he's probably gone. So I'll go to those. That'll be my infield. Outfield will be Dreiling, Tiers, and Hunter Inslee.
Okay, I like that.
And DH will be Ryan Bargo. Or Dalton Bargo, sorry. I don't know why I said Ryan Delaney. Dalton Bargo.
Love it. I like that lineup.
Yeah.
As of July 6th.
Yeah, and it probably won't be anywhere near that when it gets
believe in yourself.
Time. So
believe in yourself.
But again, they're going to figure it out. They got depth, and that's really all you can ask for. You want to build depth, and if injuries happen, you don't want to miss a beat, and hopefully Tennessee will get to that point.
Right. Love it.
All right. Well, here is our interview with our good friend Jared Dickey, VFL, and hopefully has some good news for us this week sometime with the MLB draft. So here is our good friend Jared Dickey.
We now welcome onto the show VFL Jared Dickey. He's a part of some memorable moments. If you are a Tennessee fan in general, Tennessee baseball fan, of course. Jared, thanks for hopping in, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. It's always been something that me and Landon have talked about, so it's great to finally be on.
Yeah, I think I just want to start by saying I love you, and you're my favorite player.
Well, I appreciate that. Anytime I got on Twitter after a good game, your tweets would be the first one to pop up. So it was
it was usually I love Jared Dickey.
Actually, man, what were the I was going to ask about the Arkansas leadoff twice. What was that weekend like? That Sunday tweet had to be a Jared Dickey love bomb.
Man, they were so good. They were so good.
I actually got blocked on Twitter by a player's mom. I'm not going to say who, because I said Jared Dickey was the only bright spot in that Arkansas series. So, yeah.
I could see how somebody's mom would take that the wrong way.
You gotta look at it from Landon's point of view, though. It's more of the love for Jared Dickey is just that strong. Like that's how much he just. Yeah, it was a compliment that somebody took the wrong way. So. I do have a story about a little kid. So I think it was the Texas A&M series. So me and my dad are sitting there, MVP, no big deal. There's a kid and his dad sitting behind us that normally aren't there. And I think that was the game where you hit the walk-off. It should have been gone, but I don't know why we just had a tornado wins that day. But kept it in, and you still got the walk-off. And it was one of your at-bats, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, that number 17 is really good at baseball." And my dad turned around, and he's like, "Yes, he is." Yes, he is.
Oh, man, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Anytime you see kids in the stands and like they get pretty excited when you do something, it's I think we're just growing the game of baseball, and I think that's probably one of the biggest parts of what this year's team and last year's team did.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. So you come in 2021, you are part of that team. Didn't see any action. I think you're playing summer ball already when they're in Omaha. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what was that kind of like? Kind of waiting in the wind there for seeing that team and how successful they were. Like, what did you learn from those guys, and how did it feel to finally get your moment in Omaha this past season?
Yeah, I'll just say it wasn't fun watching them on TV because I obviously wanted to be there and contribute, but that freshman year was kind of a whirlwind of a year for me, going through all the weight loss and everything. So I learned a lot from those guys, though, especially like Max Ferguson kind of took me under his wing. Evan Russell did, Luke Lipsius. And then obviously the next year getting to play with Luke and Evan, I mean, that was kind of like a dream come true because they were my mentors. They were people that I looked up to as a commit to Tennessee, watching them play when Tennessee really wasn't that good. But, you know, just coming out of the woodworks with those guys and playing that full season with them, it was really fun. Definitely made some memories I'll never forget.
So you mentioned growing up in Middle Tennessee, Mount Juliet. Were you a Tennessee fan prior to that commitment?
I was not.
No.
I was a very, very big Alabama fan, and it came down between Alabama and Tennessee, and man, it was one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make, but I definitely made the right one.
So, I mean, you would have just ended up here in the portal act. So, like Zane didn't. So, you just took the shorter road.
Exactly. Well, okay, y'all are gonna like this story. I knew from the get-go on my visit that there was something sketchy about Bohannon, man.
I was about to ask you, think if he would have bet against you or not. That was my next question.
I don't know. I just got the vibe from him, and their hitting coach at the time was actually really cool. Zuli was his name. But yeah, I got that vibe from him from the start. So I guess it paid off for me in the long run.
Yeah, you bet on yourself. He bet against you. So yeah.
Yeah, he probably had a backdoor bet somewhere that you were committing to Tennessee. He probably made some money from that. So good for him.
Probably.
Yeah. So you're part of a bunch of like kind of clutch moments there. I mean, it seemed like every single time Tennessee desperately needed a hit this season, it was you. Or Zane Denton. You know, we will kind of give him the credit he deserved for that Clemson game. Is that something you just take pride in, where it's just like, hey, 2 outs, like I need a hit, I'm hitting it somewhere they're not?
Yeah, no, seriously, it is. I remember like my earliest memories are being in the backyard and telling my dad, "All right, here we go, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 2 strikes. Like, what are you gonna do?" And then I would always get it done in the yard, and I felt like every single time this year I found a way to get it done.
Yeah. And who are these morons that keep, putting the shift on you? I just don't understand.
Oh my, that's probably one of my favorite moments from this year is Inslee just turns on a ball, hits it like 450 feet against Vandy, and I see them put that shift on me, and I'm like, oh man, Tim Corbin is about to love this. So yeah, that was one of my better memories, and yeah, thank you to all those teams for giving me a few extra hits this year.
Yeah, there you go. And then I also want to know what it's like hitting. So you hit leadoff. I can't imagine especially after doing it Friday night, that you're thinking, all right, Saturday we're thinking if I see a pitch here, it's going. I got to think as a leadoff hitter, you just got to get on base. Like that's your main goal. What is it like seeing at Arkansas? I think they were sold out every night, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
2 back-to-back leadoff home runs. I mean, you can say it. Is it expected?
I won't say expected, but that Friday night game, I had a really good feeling about it because that lefty, he just loves to hang breakers. So I had a good feeling about that one. And then the next day, the dude threw me a curveball for a first pitch strike. And I was like, well, if he throws that thing again, like that could be an issue for him. And sure enough, he threw it again. So.
And they went to almost the exact same spot, right? I mean, I don't know if y'all have the track man like the MLB, but I bet it was following the same path.
They were literally identical.
That guy got.
I thought on Saturday, they showed a replay of your leadoff on Friday night when it happened. Honestly, I was like, "There's no way that just happened again."
Well, I remember on Friday I got it up and the wind was kind of blowing in, but they've got that building in right, so I think it helped me a little bit blocking the wind. And I honestly thought Diggs caught it at first, and I was like, "Oh crap, you got to be kidding me!" But yeah, just barely squeaked over.
I do like your kind of whole batting routine. I think I mentioned this to Caleb where I should like make a video of duplicating everybody's kind of warm up there. But you do like the bat behind the head. You do the little, I think 2 or 3 half swings there. So I kind of got it down. I feel like I should do it.
Man, my girlfriend has made fun of me for doing that ever since we've been together. And so we we were in Florida this past week, and I found a facility to go hit at, and she went with me one day, and she was like, "Here, like, let me try." And I just handed her the bat, and she obviously wasn't going to get in there and hit off the machine, but she did the full routine and everything, and she started laughing after, and I was just like, "All right,
Yeah.
whatever."
She played Tim Legend too.
No, she was never a fan of my walk up song. She's more of a country girl, so
It's a banger. I wasn't a huge fan, but it's kind of vibey.
thank you. I mean, that's what I've been trying to tell people, and it gets me in a place where I'm ready to hit, and there's no distractions in the world when I hear that song.
I think it's distracting for an opposing pitcher. You have like you do have a funky kind of warm up there. It's not no one else has that. So you and then you have Tim Legend. It's just like who is this guy? And you see his batting average is like 330. You're like, dude, this dude's a robot. Not a chance.
No.
So I think Landon though should imitate God, was it the third baseman? I can't remember his name for Southern Miss this year. What did you give me your breakdown of that routine?
He did a squat.
So
Coach Q
I was
loved
obviously I was in left field. I was like, all right. We got these little cards that tell us like where to position this person and all that. So I'm looking at the card and I hear everybody in the crowd start chanting, and I'm like what in the world is going on? So I look up and this guy is literally like humping the ground, and I'm like, what is this guy doing? It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, and I guess they call it goat yoga. For some reason, anytime that he would get up and do it, you turn around and look at the scoreboard, and there would be an emoji of a goat in the middle of the scoreboard.
Wow. So he's
What is he doing to those goats?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that is a wild place, Mississippi. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Did we ask? Have we asked about the situation at Southern Miss? Because we've given our uninformed takes. How do we end up under the bleachers? What's the deal?
So they didn't have a visiting locker room, and it was either go under there or go to some like little basketball arena that was like 5 or 10 minutes down the road. And we were just all like, why would we do that? Like that sounds even worse than sitting under the bleachers, because we were actually kind of having a good time under there. But I think it was perfect for us to be under there because the picture of Kirby and the money through the gate, that is one of the best pictures that I've ever seen.
What did he buy? We were trying to figure out what he bought for like $1 or $2, whatever it was.
I think he was probably getting chicken sandwiches, knowing him.
Yeah, they probably charged him for extra Chick-fil-A sauce.
Probably
$1 for it. So what
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
I'll go ahead. I'll have a go ahead off with you right now. You go ahead.
What do you think about the portal right now? And is there a chance that Tony V is calling you and trying to recruit you to come back?
I mean, I showed up to the field today, and they had just gotten the Bargo kid from Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So I had already seen the tweets of him hitting that ball off Burns, and everybody's like, oh, yeah, like, here we go. So, yeah, they've been on a tear. And, I mean, I think it's kind of expected from me, because last year I got to go on all the recruiting visits with Griffin. He was my big one that I went on. So, yeah, just seeing the way that they do things, they do it really well. They show them the whole campus, give them a tour of the facility, take them to a nice dinner. Like went to Roost Chris with Griffin last year, and that was – I think that was probably a selling point for him after he ordered that big-ass steak. But, yeah, no, they're doing a great job. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's definitely one more, but I could see 2 more for sure.
So you're thinking Luke Holman.
I'm just gonna
don't go Ross Kivett on us. He wouldn't give us names.
Yeah, he accidentally said Corey. So I said, Ricky, write that down. That's the guy he's after. So
yeah.
Speaking of the transfer portal and what Tennessee got today, how mad are you about? I don't know. Do you like the catcher position, or how are you thinking? Like, now Tennessee has 2 additional catchers on campus that hopefully won't up and quit the game of baseball or go pro.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be big for him for sure. I think Cal and Charlie have done a really good job of manning it, and I think it's just a really tough position on your body. So just having all the extra guys that you can to man that down, I think it'll be really big for him.
Well, yeah, what was that like for you to kind of go through 2 off seasons, almost getting ready to play catcher, I guess, is how you kind of took it on. What was that like? And I mean, like you said, it's very difficult. What's that kind of mentality, and then go play the outfield for the majority of the season?
Yeah. I don't really know how to say it, but I will say I was very upset with Coach V whenever I got back to campus, and he was like, "Yeah, you're going to go out to the outfield." So I was like, "Oh, all right, here we go." It kind of just at the time I was very sour about it, but looking back on it now, like I can catch, I can play the outfield, I can play first base, and all of that is going to help me in the long run. So, yeah, I'll thank them a lot for what they did for me.
I think it should be a yearly tradition with Tennessee where we have a position player play catcher in the offseason.
Yeah, I think they were thinking about throwing Burke back there. So. Could you imagine the big donkey behind the plate?
That's crazy. That's a big dude to put back there.
Yeah, I mean, does he have a cannon? And he's left-handed too. Is there a left-handed catcher? That would be insane.
It would be nuts. But no, he has a arm. Like you don't get to see it much with him in the infield, but dude throws like really, really hard. I would say that he could probably be a 90-mile-per-hour arm on the mound.
It's kind of like a sidearm too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is.
Have you all given him a hard time about probably his best play of the year at first base not even being caught on camera? That final out against Southern Miss, the camera wasn't fast enough. No idea. Like, they're just like, and he's out. And I was like, okay, that was cool, I guess.
Yeah,
it was the same thing in the Supers against LSU where they hit it so hard at Jake Rucker, like it was like, oh, that was ripped, and it's like, oh, the game's over. Cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot about that play. Those were literally very similar, just the complete opposite sides of the field.
Yeah, it's that great camera work at Southern Miss's Park. That was definitely good enough to host a super regional. So we're really glad
those were really big time facilities. It was great having all the fans sitting on the metal bleachers during the lightning delay. Yeah, it was credit to them for that.
With their forks up in the air, probably.
So I don't know what kind of bulletin board material V gives you guys or anybody there in the dugout, in the locker room. What happens? I know Florida, the picture of Evan Russell was hanging up. We wanted you guys to have on Thursday after we saw that, we wanted you all to have a bulletin board off. We needed more material just to take a picture of them hanging that picture. What did you all get bulletin board material that week? Like, hey, now you're the underdog, they're making you travel, or was it just like a take care of business kind of deal?
It was kind of just a take care of business type of deal. I think throughout the whole year, especially after last year's team, I mean, some of the DMs that we were getting were ridiculous. Like, I can't even say them out loud. Like, that's how bad they were.
What was the average age of those senders? Like 45, probably.
Oh, I mean, some of them were definitely older than that. Like, I would get on Twitter and I'd have like a 70-year-old man like tagging me like "LOL, kid." Like, like, okay, but yeah,
you gotta respect the grind of that guy for even doing that though.
And yeah, I mean, true. It is one of my favorite pictures of Luke Lipsius just touching home plate, all of the bench warmers. But at that point, I did think maybe we jumped the shark a little bit as Tennessee. Like, I was like, all right, it is just insane how hilarious this is. What was the reaction when that happened, when you talking to Luke in the dugout?
That is my favorite Tennessee at bat that I've ever had because I was the one that hit the ball. I hit it up the middle, got to first base, and I'm I'm standing there beside Ricky, and we're watching Luke, and they're like, all right, here he goes. We thought he was going to head first slide, go around. Nope. Me and Ricky just look at each other like this, and we start crying, laughing. It was that's one of my best baseball memories ever.
I'm impressed that the game is slow enough for him to think to do that. Honestly, that's the most impressive part that has been skipped over by everybody.
Well, he's a genius too, so he probably has so many things running through his mind, and then he saw that one and was like, "All right, here, like I'm doing this."
He also did the in 2020 or 2022 where he hit the home run after Jordan Beck got called out, and he checked it. He grabbed the bat from Evan Russell and checked it.
Yeah. Man, he was a clown. One of the funniest guys that I've ever played with.
So you were roommates with Griff this year, and it seems like you're best friends with Ben Joyce, now best friends with Griff. You got to pick one. Who you picking?
Oh, you
better say Ben Joyce. He's making a lot of money right now.
you can't do that to me, but I will say this, that Ben has been there through it all, and Griffin has just come at a good chapter in my life. So
how old is Griffin, man?
I was about to say, have you checked his birth certificate?
I think he's like 24, 25. Yeah, he's old enough to, get away from baseball, but
yeah, he's old enough to start his own podcast or something. Who is the best pitcher you've faced? You can say Paul Skeens, or you can say somebody else if you want.
I don't think it is Paul Skeens.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is. So we had those meetings in Arizona for the draft combine, and the Padres, I vividly remember this. They were like, all right, tell us, like they had a TV in there where you could pull up videos of any of your at bats throughout the whole year. And they were like, all right, tell us somebody that you owned that not many people owned. And I was like, all right, go to Friday night at LSU where I was 2 for 3 off them. And they were like, yeah, like I don't think so. Like you're just pulling our leg. So I got them to pull it up 2 for 3, and then the third one was a deep fly out. So they were like, okay, like, and I saw all of them writing down on their piece of paper. Man, that's a really tough question.
I could give you a hang on the Padres organization. That's awesome. There you go, Manny Machado.
Yep. I'm gonna go with Hagen Smith from Arkansas. I think he struck me out in 3 pitches, and the third one it was pretty bad. And that does not happen very often. So I'll give credit where it's due.
I did the math. You only struck out 7% of your at bats this season.
Sweet, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, is that like something where you're like, hey, you're not striking me out? Because I feel like in 2020. 2022, 2021, that was like those guys. It seemed like it was their mentality. It's like, you can throw whatever you want. You're not going to strike me out. You might get me out, but you're not striking me out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that was one of the things that I learned from those older guys is like just having quality at bats and fighting for your team. And I feel like that was probably something that we strayed away from at times this year, just trying to hit the long ball and, be identical to last year's team at times. But yeah, that's always been my mentality is like, you're not going to strike me out. Like that is like the most demoralizing feeling after you swing and miss or watch one go by and you have to walk back to the dugout. So no.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the
at least you don't
dugout.
At least you don't hump the dugout and then have to walk back.
That's true.
Strikeout. That's
true.
That is a positive.
That is true. That is very true.
Why do when people strike out? Why do they look back at the pitcher? Is that just like a unwritten rule, or why do people do that?
No idea. No idea.
I've just always noticed it. Maybe I'm just wrong, but I just feel like people look at the pitcher and they're just like, "Damn you."
Yeah, no, seriously. I've seen like the Dickerson kid from Southern Miss after Doe struck him out. Like, dude, you just struck out on a 98 mile per hour heater, and you're gonna look at the guy, tell him he sucks. Like after he just struck you out on 3 pitches. I've never understood it.
Yeah, it was a great gift. It's like,
well, Drew Gilbert looks at the umpire, so
Yeah.
So there are some different approaches.
Have you ever wanted to be as fast as at something as Tony Vitello is at getting out of the dugout? Like for
Man, the one that sticks out is obviously the Alabama one. I mean, I've never seen him get out of the dugout that quick for that. And then when we were at Clemson, he came out to get the review. That's a good one as well. But yeah, I think I mean he's an awesome coach, freaking awesome. I don't have enough words to say about him. And just talk about a player's coach, letting you do whatever you want to, and just wanting you to succeed at everything in life. He's the man.
What if I told you that we kind of want golly, why am I blanking on his name all of a sudden? Third base coach. Good God.
Elander.
Hitting coach. Elander. I don't know why I just blanked on his name. I kind of want him as head coach. He is undefeated as the man in charge.
He
to
is.
be fair.
That's
I feel like Vol fans are not talking about that enough. All right. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
Well, I will say that we made some boneheaded base running mistakes early on in the year, and man, he was getting ripped on Twitter like Josh Elander should not let this happen. So yeah, I think that's what Vol fans think of Josh Elander right now. So we might need to give him a little bit of time.
Was he the one that recruited you?
He was. I had a homer my sophomore year, like at a fall tournament, and in Sarasota, and he was there, called me that night, and then I got to campus like the next week. So yeah, he was the one that did all of it.
And so whose idea was it for you to do the weight loss? Because like they showed the picture like a billion times last year on the SEC network. I mean, you were kind of unrecognizable.
Yeah, I think the highest that I got up to was, man, it's crazy even saying it was 293. So I was a big boy.
You don't care. Like I've seen the picture, obviously. You don't look 293. That's insane.
I carried it pretty well.
Yeah.
A lot of it was in my legs, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I still had the stomach to go with it. But yeah, no, it was kind of just a group decision. We had to decide like if I wanted to be effective and good at baseball, then I had to do all of that. And I think if I didn't do that, because I mean, I could have just lost 50 pounds and stayed at 225 and hit a lot more homers, but I wanted to be agile. I wanted to be quick. I wanted to be able to play everywhere in the outfield. And then obviously the catching thing came around. So I think that was one of the better decisions that we've made.
So did you have your girlfriend before you lost the weight or after?
No, after. There was not much interest when the fat guy rolled up to campus.
I love that.
So we do normally ask like favorite moment. You've been you've been a key player in some of the better moments in Tennessee baseball. What's one of your favorite? Let's go with your moment, one of your favorite moments that you did, and then give me one that you weren't a part of. Let's split those up.
Wow, making me reflect back.
You could have been a part of it, but maybe not the guy that's either hit the RBI or hit the home run or something like that.
All right. Well, I'll give you the one that I'm not a part of, and that was definitely Zane Denton's home run. That I think Drew's was awesome. Like that was really cool. But I think the significance of Zane's home run right there was probably one of the biggest hits in Tennessee baseball history, if not the biggest one. So I'll go that one for that moment. And then, I think the bases clearing little single or triple, whatever you want to call it, whoever you are at Southern Miss, that was probably my favorite moment for me.
Yeah, poor outfielder.
I hit that ball really hard, and I had just gotten the ball in left field the inning before that skipped really hard because obviously when that turf gets hot, it's going to skip even harder. Mm-hmm. And I saw him running side, like just taking a direct route, and I was like, "Oh man, that might get by him." And then sure enough, yep.
What did going back to Clemson? What did Cam? Do y'all know what Cam Canarella said to get ejected?
No, we
Okay.
have no idea. We were, we were all just like kind of standing there in the dugout about to go out, and we saw him talking to Zane. And we're just like, dude, like he literally just hit a freaking 3-run bomb
Right.
to like keep us in this game, and you're talking crap to him. But yeah, no, we have no idea what he said.
Okay, I was just curious because I mean I have no idea, but no one has any idea. I don't know. Ejections like that are dumb in baseball, but I'm also like they did tell you like an inning before that to shut up at both teams.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
maybe just shut up.
I want to talk about the SEC a little bit. Like how big of a grind, especially like was it Florida, Vanderbilt, LSU, Arkansas, like all those, that gauntlet that y'all went through. How was that as a team? Just because like, there was some struggles in there, but there also was the sweep against Vandy. Shout out Tim Corbin. What was that kind of like for y'all's team, and how did it prepare y'all for that postseason run?
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as like the first 3 weeks of the season went by, and we were starting to look at SEC, and we saw what those teams were doing and like what we were doing at the time, and we were like, oh man, like that's going to be a really tough stretch. And then obviously didn't start off SEC play how we wanted to, but ended on a heater, and that's all that matters. So
yeah. And draft week, I guess. I want to say draft day, but there's multiple days. It's coming up this week. Have you kind of heard like where you could go, where you're expected to go, stuff like that?
yeah, a lot of the stuff that I've been hearing is probably late on day one, just like anywhere from the beginning of the second round to the end. But yeah, I mean, you just never know until the day comes, really.
And are they like having you as an outfielder, catcher, athlete, whatever?
A lot of them just have me as a hitter right now, and they're just going to figure out the position stuff later.
Yeah, professional hitter, might as well.
What's the draft watch? What's the watch party gonna be like? That first off, the setup behind you looks like an excellent draft party location. Or is this gonna be a campus deal?
This would be a good setup, but I'm actually here at my grandparents' house in Knoxville, and I'm gonna head home tomorrow, and I think it's just gonna be me, my girlfriend, and grandparents and parents at our house watching it. And then if it just so happens that I do get a call on Sunday night, then I think after that I'm gonna go out with my family and a few buddies, and we're just gonna go out and celebrate.
Heck yeah.
There you go. Broadway? Is that too far away?
I don't know about Broadway. I don't know.
I took an Uber home from Broadway one time. It was like $190. It was stupid. To Mount Juliet. Sorry.
Yeah, the prices are very, very high down there.
That's kind of all I got, man. I really appreciate you hopping on with us, and appreciate all you did for Tennessee baseball. You kind of part of bringing this thing back and keeping it to where the standard is now. Is there any kind of recruiting pitch that you'd like to kind of give to high school players, or does Tony Vitello do enough of that?
I think he does enough of that, but if I had one thing to say, then it's probably just if you want to play for somebody who's as passionate as the game as you think you are, then come play for this guy.
Yeah, awesome,
love it. Thank you for hopping on, man. We really appreciate it. Good luck this weekend and wherever you go after that.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
See you, Jared.
Thank you.
That was VFL Jared Dickey. He's going to get some good news pretty soon. Can't wait for that. Yeah, just really appreciate him. And, man, I just can't believe, like, the transformation that, from his freshman year to now, and now he's, he was 293 pounds, and now he's going to be drafted in the MLB draft. It's pretty insane. Again, a lot to the staff and the program. And, dude, I wanted to tell you, I meant to do the surprise. I was
about to ask you. Well, also speaking of transformations, did you just put on a hat? You didn't have that on before, did you?
I took a shower, so
okay.
Yeah, so didn't want to fix my hair again, so yeah, just went hat mode,
Okay, I like that.
But I was just going to read you some tweets because people are really upset that Tennessee is landing these transfers. They're saying that we bought this team, which I love. I love the fact that we're like reaping the benefits of having a good NIL collective, and also just having a really good program. Like they just assume like NIL was the only reason why they want to come play for Tony Vitello.
Right.
So I was just going to read some of those to you because I know you'd love this. So I'm just going to read them. I'm not going to say who they're from. It just said Clemsoning when we landed Billy Amick. Ugly Orange, don't know which one is uglier. That was obviously from a South Carolina fan. The real USC at Barstool USC. I guess I'll read that one. It says, This is like going from the Taliban to Al-Qaeda. Love that.
Interesting comparison.
Dude said, dude pulled a Kevin Durant. Whatever. This guy just tweeted a video of Frank the Tank saying mother effer. This guy said, looks like the bag was what Billy wanted. Lame ass move to go to the team that knocked you out, in my opinion. This guy said, hope they lose every damn game. Love that.
Okay.
I thought I had some more. Oh, Clemson Barstool has Kevin Durant. It said my next chapter, and it's got the Vol shirt on. Thought that was awesome. One guy said, bought, not built. That's how it goes, right? And then he said this on 8 different tweets today. And then this LSU fan said, trying to buy a title, disgusting for the game. LSU just did this exact same thing.
Yeah, LSU did just do that. Yeah. I mean, we can maybe agree on that, but it's already happened. It's not like Tennessee's the first.
Right. So I just thought that was hilarious. Some of the great tweets from today
Those are good tweets.
Of the meltdown that Tennessee landed these transfers. So gotta love it. And let's get into some football a little bit. It wouldn't be an off-season episode if we didn't discuss football a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk some ball.
So we got some position battles, and I don't know how we really want to go about this, but I do kind of want to mention some and mention the players that are involved and maybe what we think's going to happen. But we got no clue. I mean,
we don't.
Did anybody think
I would like to know
Brandon Turnage and Danico Slaughter be the best 2 corners we had last year? No.
Right. But hey, before we get too deep into football, Thomas Edwards, good friend of the pod. Let me know where that release party's at in Knoxville because we got to have one in Knoxville. I mean, the song's about running through the tee.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Front row, shirts off.
Maybe
we'll be there.
I got a surprise for you. We might be going to the reveal show in Nashville before the game. Before the first game.
Of Thomas Edwards thing? Oh, did he DM us or something? Did I miss this?
I messaged him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I might be going to that.
Cool.
So
this is why you're the man in charge.
Yeah, dude, I'm just a dude.
HMF RC.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was careful. Don't worry about me.
Dylan said snag him a ticket too. I don't know, man. You're in Brentwood. I don't know if you'd even be invited. There's not any cool raps wherever this party's going to be.
Hey, Dylan, just to really piss you off, and probably Amanda more so. The people I was talking about that I met, they were from Franklin, and I was just kind of talking real quick and completely forgot. I was like, yeah, I've got friends in Franklin. I might actually be stopping there on my way home. You guys are in Brentwood, and I got to think that's kind of an insult. So, I'm sorry, but also kind of funny. So.
I love that we're just bashing.
Hold on. You talk real quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure.
Yeah, you're good.
Make sure this is important.
Do want to kind of go over some football a little bit. So, position battle. Cornerbacks. Who's it going to be? I feel like Danico Slaughter has to be a corner on this team next year, or a starting corner on this team next year. And then who's opposite? Is it Brandon Turnage, who had some really good games last year? Is it Kamal Haddon, who, a lot of people said he has all the talent in the world, but, man, he was a lot. I guess I'll say that, a lot last year. Warren Burrell, who has kind of been, probably has the most experience in that group, has been a, solid contributor. Hasn't been the greatest. Dealt with an injury last year. Gabe Judy Lally from BYU comes in and joins this group, so maybe he's a guy that could steal a spot. You got Jordan Matthews is a true freshman, highly touted true freshman. So I think you have some options there, which, looking back on it last year, I don't feel like you had a ton of options. But I feel like you do have options this year to kind of have at least depth at that position and see what happens. It's got to be better than last year. I mean, holy crap. And then safety's kind of another one. It's like, I didn't just love, and I know like Trayvon Flowers came out and said he was dealing with issues all year long last year. So that one, and you got Jalen McCullough, who is, kind of been a starter for Tennessee since he's been on campus. But, number one, is he even going to be available? He's dealing with that issue. And then, he's just not the most athletic safety. Jordan Thomas, really good on special teams last year. Can he be a contributor? Wesley Walker, I feel like, was the best safety we had. Just didn't really get a ton of opportunities, I don't feel like. Or not enough, in my opinion.
Sorry about that. Where are we at?
We're talking about safeties. Talked about corners.
Safeties.
Talking about safeties a little bit. Mentioned the, Jordan Thomas, Jalen McCullough, Wesley Walker. Christian Charles is another one that I feel like they wanted him to play safety. Wasn't going to be a starter last year. Moved him to corner and just kind of had a rough go of it. Just didn't look like a corner, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty interested. This is I feel like this it's just wide open. Am I crazy? Maybe not wide open. Wide open might not be the bad way to put it, but I feel like there's just no one whose position it is right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like Wesley Walker is probably I feel like he's going to be a starter. Now, maybe that's just my opinion because he was the best one last year, and I just assume. But I
think he's probably your safest. Well, I take that back. I guess I should say there's him and Jalen. Like they're both safely there. It's just like number one. I don't like who's. So that I think you can almost pencil them as starters week one. It's like after that, I don't know who it would be, but I kind of hope someone else steps up and like. Because that's what we had last year, and it just wasn't. If that makes sense, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't good enough last year.
Right.
So I feel like Wesley Walker could have helped. I don't think Trayvon Flowers is bad. It just wasn't like it just didn't make enough plays, in my opinion.
He also had the announcement. I didn't read it that he apparently was some kind of sickness, like illness last year. I didn't read what it was.
I didn't read it either.
So I won't speak too ill.
Right. And I mentioned that before you got back on.
Apologies.
He was out last year, or he was out there, but was dealing with an issue. But yeah, there just wasn't enough plays made in the back end for my liking. So yeah, I'd like to see somebody challenge those guys. And, I think Christian Charles is somebody that they would love for it to be. But do they just go with the veterans like they have since, these guys have been on campus?
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely like game one, you're going to see that be the case. After that, I don't know. But,
I mean, if Jalen McCullough is suspended at all, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the legal process is or what that looks like. But, if he has some repercussions from what happened last year, is it Jordan Thomas or is it Christian Charles?
Well, I didn't know that wasn't resolved. I don't think I realized that.
No, I think he has a court date.
Oh, okay. Huh. Was not aware.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
Okay. Well,
and then
learn something new.
Do you have any more kind of positions that you're just like, man, I'd like to see like kind of how it plays out?
How it plays out. I mean, I definitely am interested in how they handle the running back room this year. But at least I'm not like questioning the strength of that position. So that's not the same as like safety.
Yeah.
I am a little interested to see that kind of those edge rushers defensive end position. Like I think kind of going back to what you were talking about veterans, like I think it's probably Roman Harrison, Tyler Barron week 1. Like that's what it's going to be. I'm interested to see if that stays the same. I really do think Joshua Joseph is going to be a big piece this year. I don't know how big, and I don't know if he ever moves into that starter role. But I am interested to see how that position group plays out. And I'm a little worried. Like that wasn't necessarily like a huge strength for you last year. That would be huge if it is a strength, but I don't know how it gets better after losing Byron Young.
Yeah, I mean Joshua Josephs, yes, for sure. James Pierce is another guy that, like, at some point he's got to be an impact guy. Is it this year? I don't know. I think just watching him on special teams, he's just bigger than everybody. He just looks the part. He's definitely first off the bus kind of guy. So yeah, I'd love to see him and his impact. Shadavian Bradley, I don't know how much of an impact. Caleb Herring is another kind of true freshman. Emmanuel Okoye, which he's an interesting prospect. He's from that, overseas NFL. Is it NFL Academy? NFL Global Academy?
I think so.
Something like that.
NFL Global Academy. There's an NBA Global Academy.
So I just assumed. I don't know.
I think that's a good assumption. I think that's a safe assumption. Okay.
Yeah. Do they have any impact at all? I mean, I'm sure on special teams, but I think you got depth there. But I would like to see somebody kind of solidify themselves as the guy like Byron Young was last year.
Right.
And then,
for sure.
I am interested in the running backs. Like, how do they split carries? Because I think there's 4 guys that's definitely deserving. I mean, Dylan Sampson, you got Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Cam Seldon looks like $1 million. And
that's going to be interesting.
Deshaun Bishop is another guy who, I know he got a lot of run in spring because there was injuries and guys having some cleanup work done. But, that's good experience going into your freshman year.
Yeah, I think that's huge, I think, for his future. I don't see him playing. Cam Seldon, he's going to find the field, I think. I think he'll be like a Dylan Sampson last year, but I think he finds the field. I think Deshaun is definitely – this is a redshirt year. Maybe see some time late in blowout games, but I think you'll be closer to a true redshirt year for him. And I love Deshaun Bishop. Fan club guy right here.
Is it Is Jalen Wright the head guy? Is he your headliner at running back?
Probably.
I would think so too.
I think he has more a broader skill set. I think Jabari Small brings a lot, but I think Jalen Wright probably has the broader skill set. I think he can find that he can run with a little bit more speed. He can run downhill like Jabari. I think last year protecting the football was more of a concern early on for him. That got shored up, and he seemed to get more carries. So hopefully you don't start out with – because you don't want your running back to put the ball on the ground. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But he has a little bit better of a second gear than Jabari. And I think that was – you saw it in the Vanderbilt game. Both of them ran really well. When you have a guy who can hit the second level and then explode, like that's just a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's different. It just seems when he got the ball in his hands, he is different. He's got that speed to him. He can run downhill. He's got a little bit of everything that everybody else on the roster has. And I think Cam Seldon is he's just huge, number one. But he also has the speed. I think he can flank outside and be a receiver if he had to in different situations. So, yeah, I just see there's a lot of guys with different skill sets, and how are they utilized, and do they just kind of ride the hot hand? Can Jabari Small play? Can he be healthy? Is a big question mark with that position too.
Well, for sure. And that's going back into that second level thing. That's why I would love to see Dylan Sampson get the ball more. Yeah. Talk about speed. Mm-hmm. That dude's got it.
And I think all along the trenches. I know you're going to play a lot of guys on that defensive front. Amari Thomas, I'm sure we'll see tons of him. Bryson Eason, Omar Norman Lott, just a lot of guys there. And then offensive line. Who's the second? Who's the guard opposite of Javonte Spraggins? Who Is it Ollie Lane? Is it
Right.
Addison Nichols?
I've been really impressed with the offensive line, though, as a unit as a whole. Obviously, Darnell Wright was a huge shining star in that, but as a whole, I feel like they've been a good unit. So I do have a little more hope for that position group. And I mean, that's not enough. I mean, obviously you have Rodney Garner, one of the better coaches on the staff on the defensive, so I shouldn't be as concerned, I guess. But I guess in terms of like individuals shine a little bit more on the defensive line than the unit offensively.
Yeah. And who are your tackles? Is it Gerald Mincey and, does Jeremiah Crawford get a position? John Campbell from Miami, is he your right tackle? Kind of take that place of Darnell Wright. So, yeah, I think there's some battles there. And who's your backup center? Who is, if Cooper Mays goes down, who is it? Because it's been Jerome Carvin forever, it seems like.
Right.
So who is the next guy in line? Is it Addison Nichols? Going to be an Ollie Lane? Who's that next center in line? Is a question I'd like to be answered.
For sure. For sure.
Man, I can't wait for football season. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm fired. I'm fired up. And now, I mean, we might get an opening little party to start this. I mean, this just got better. Yeah. This just got better.
Gotta love it. That's kind of all I got for football. Not a whole lot, but did want to mention just a couple things there. And you want to get some segments?
Yeah. Do we have any more? I know we got some during baseball. Do we have any more listener questions?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Stupidity.
I'm going to go Georgia football. Why is there so many guys getting citations and arrested?
It was a stupid amount that got just driving citations, right? Like 100 something.
Well, yeah, you had another
issue.
Samuel Bimba. I don't know how exactly you say that. He was a 5-star linebacker. He got caught going 88 and a 55, like 10 miles away from campus. It's like, dude, where are you going? Are you late for practice or
somewhere fast, baby?
Is that a booty call? Like where? Like what in the world? 33 is a lot.
McDonald's used to be 24 hours. Now they're not. He's just trying to get to Mickey D's before they close, dude. What hate?
Yes, so. They have breakfast all day, man.
Not after midnight anymore. Seriously, that's one of the worst things that come from a pandemic. For McDonald's to find out they can close and still survive. I miss being able to, it's 2 a.m., Mickey D's. Because I will not eat McDonald's during the waking hours ever in my life.
No. Dude, I had somebody tell me, I don't remember who it was. They're like, yeah, dude, I got this McDonald's ice cream. It was our buddy Wes. He's like, yeah, I got this McDonald's ice cream, and I was driving in my Jeep, and he was like, it just started pouring rain. And he was like, I was just trying to like hold that ice cream and get all the way home. And he's like, I got home and I realized that it was so hot outside. It was melting all the ice cream and it was just pumping in his face. So he thought it was raining and it was just ice cream.
What? What?
Yeah. I don't know how that happens.
Sense.
Yeah, he thought it was raining on him.
Holy cow. That's insane. I don't
track
not
that,
a that's awesome.
Not a cloud in the sky. It was just pouring rain.
That's a great story, but it doesn't make sense to me. That's
also like, how did you get every time I go to McDonald's, they're like, yeah, it's broken. And I just think it's not.
No, you can get ice cream. It's the what do they call them? I don't even get them anymore. The McFlurry machine is always busted.
Oh, okay.
Ice cream I can always get.
Okay, that's what it is. Gotcha. Yeah, no.
You will not be getting a McFlurry.
Flurries are gone. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be raining. If you're in your Jeep and eating ice cream, just be careful out there.
Yeah, for sure.
That could be a stupidity if we're just being honest.
Wes?
Yeah. Sorry, Wes.
That was a rough one. I don't really have any. I haven't been on social media much this week. Sorry, but I did. Have you seen this? You were watching the video of that girl. That guy's not real. Of her getting off the plane, getting escorted off the plane. I'm sure by the end of it in handcuffs, but yelling, "He's not real." That one.
Yeah.
So some guy made a follow-up TikTok, and he was like, "So I was on that plane." Goes through this whole story. It's like a 3-minute story. he's like, I don't remember what the guy was wearing, all this. He's like, it's just one of those memories you don't think much of. But he was like, he wasn't talking to her. He wasn't responding to her, but he was looking at her like he was in a conversation. And then he goes on. At the end, he goes, and then he turned to me. He looks me in the eye, and he winks. He's like, but it wasn't a normal wink. He winked, and his eye went horizontal. Random dude on TikTok. Some news station, it's obviously just like messing with people. Some news station ran with it. And it might have been like the Daily Mail, someone dumb like that. But yeah, some news station ran with a true story. Someone put us into contact with this guy.
Good Lord. I mean,
which I don't know if the Daily Mail is a real news station.
People believe
that's
anything.
Bad. Someone that gets paid to write articles. I mean, I'm kind of with her. I haven't seen this guy. There's no evidence of this person existing. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. My next one is on Auburn.
Okay.
They've sold 63,500 season tickets, the most in their school history.
63,000? Wow,
Yeah.
That's kind of shocking. Wow, interesting.
For Hugh Freeze, his first year, you're going to sell out? Like, this is the most. You had Cam Newton on your campus, and you didn't even surpass that? It's
Cam
like,
Newton, they had Bo Jackson on their campus.
Yeah, I mean, they had. Now it's Peyton Thorne as their quarterback, and they're like, oh, dude, let's sell it out.
Hey, what are you going to do, man?
Come on, Auburn. Be better. Somebody was like, I can't wait to see 63,500 season ticket holders be pissed off when their team goes 4-8.
Oh, we going 4-8 for them? I don't hate it, but is that our prediction?
I don't know. I have no clue what their schedule looks like. I guess it's not. It doesn't sound like off the wall.
I got to think Freeze can win more than 4 games, right?
Yeah, depends on how many strippers he's.
I'm not trying to sunshine pump Hugh Freeze, but I mean, he can coach a bit. I'm not saying a lot of it. A little bit.
He'll beat somebody he shouldn't, and then he'll get a extension out of it.
There you go. Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's known for beating Alabama. Maybe he beats Alabama. That'd be awesome.
Did you see where Tate Rowledge is still a Tennessee fan?
I saw that comment, and they were all like, "No," that one dude was like, "No, I don't know who that was," talking about it.
It was Cedric.
Like, can you imagine our fans in Neyland? I'm like, can you imagine Tennessee? First off, the Alabama game. Sanford sounded good during the Tennessee game. Credit to them. Tennessee during the Alabama game, nuts. Tennessee during Oklahoma, nuts. Florida in 16, nuts. Florida this year, pretty good. Tennessee won a national championship. That entire year, it would be off the charts.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, you guys are living in the best. You guys are living in the best years of Georgia football. You can't compare your best years to some of Tennessee's just years.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great year for the last Tennessee's 15 years, sure, but prior to that,
I mean, real recognize real. He understood that Neyland Stadium is the best stadium in the SEC. That's not a hot take. That's facts.
No. When did he visit? Do you know? Like, what game did he visit?
Tate Rowledge, he was 2020. He's been at Georgia for a couple years.
Yeah. I'm just saying, what game did he visit for? Do you know? Like, by chance, do you know? Because he may have gotten a good experience.
Well, he was a Tennessee fan, so that was the big thing when he committed to Georgia. He was a Tennessee fan. His dad
go to Tennessee game. Yeah,
I don't know, but his dad took the sticker off.
Yeah, but he obviously what I'm saying is he went on an official visit, and I'm just curious what game that was. Like, how is he experienced? So he's saying that, but my question is, how has he experienced Neyland?
Yeah, he probably has been there a lot because he was friends with like Cade and Cooper Mays.
Okay.
So he was probably up here quite a bit.
He's from the Georgia area though, isn't he? Like, he's from like Atlanta.
Yeah, so he's pretty close. Yeah, he's not that far away.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything? I do have one question for you.
Okay.
How many games does Georgia win last year if JG was their quarterback?
Oh gosh. Ooh.
Did you bring your board?
No, I should have.
It would be hilarious if you did.
That would be good. That'd be very good. Golly, I'd have to go back. They don't beat Missouri. They lose that game for sure.
They lose to Tennessee?
Probably, but Tennessee's offense didn't do much in that game, so they could probably just run it down our throats.
Yeah,
I don't know. They definitely lose to Missouri. I know that. They don't win it. They don't win a national or an SEC championship. I can guarantee that.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and they lose a lot more for sure. And not that Stetson Bennett was great, but he was no JG, my friend.
They still beat Oregon probably.
They do probably somehow. I mean, that was bad. They do probably beat Oregon. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
All right. I'm going to run out of here. Guys, it's been fun. I will check back in with y'all on Sunday.
Yep. See y'all Sunday. Thanks again. Have a good weekend. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.